Welcome everyone. We are here for the Gaming Up North podcast, not the Ramblecast. I almost said it because we're gonna try and stay on topic of PlayStation platformers this time.
Try is the key word.
Yeah,
an attempt is being made.
Yeah, I am here as always with my lugubrious co-host, Mr. Adam Ashbridge, and I am also here with Sliding Sloop, our other co-host. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Weary.
Oh, God damn it.
Now, is it not as perky as, it would prefer it to be, but never mind. We're battled through. We've got good stuff to talk about. It's all gravy.
I feel like we're making progress because it was Weary Wednesday last time. Slightly less Weary Wednesday, everyone.
Yeah.
I've had a busy day, but I haven't had time to be weary, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a fact. There's no time for anything now. The news cycle is 24 hours. It goes at 100 miles an hour. We're all gonna die. Anyway, but you know what was great though? The PlayStation.
Very slick there, very slick.
But no, I did. Firstly, I wanted to kind of touch on something because me and Sloop ventured out into the real world, not the virtual world, and we saw some in-person live wrestling. We saw the clashing of bone and sinew in real life,
and people moonsaulting off bleachers into bunches of other people.
Yes. Everyone I've shown that video to has been very impressed, and it's got a great crowd shot of a woman turn around and go like in the middle of the video. The video I took was all a fluke. I did not know there was a wrestler climbing up on the bleachers. I was looking for Sloop because I saw a crowd brawl and you just went to the bathroom. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to find Sloop getting stopped by the wrestlers on the way back.
Which I did get stopped by the refs, yeah.
Yeah, it was either that or you were going to just walk through them all and be like, oh no, out me way. But yeah, so that was my first time seeing North wrestling. Or is it like NCL, do they call it? Is it just
I think it's just called North. I think it's just North Wrestling, yeah.
Yeah. But that was awesome. It's a lot of guys you see around the scene and stuff like that. Because I guess if people haven't seen much local wrestling, you can go to a social club and you might see someone who in 5 years could be on television. It's kind of that fast sometimes, how crazy, how it all moves now. Because Adam, me and you have seen main event wrestling.
Yes.
And a few of those guys have made it onto all of these current shows as well.
Yes.
So it's funny. I'm seeing them slowly work up from the social club to the Walker Dome, which was an actual dome.
It was massive. It was way bigger than I thought it would be. I
was going to say from the video, it looked.
Apparently there was 812 people there.
Wow,
which is a lot for local wrestling.
A lot. It's about 120 more than they had last year in the same place. So they've obviously sold quite well. I think having Joe Hendry there did help.
Yeah, we'll have.
Yeah, absolutely. That was probably the loudest crowd reaction I've seen at one of those things, a sort of local show. But there was lots of moments when the crowd was on top form, wasn't there? Really loud, crazy chants going on. But it was child friendly, so we had to be a little bit careful on what we were chanting.
Yeah.
Did you only have 10 beers instead of 20 like Jake? It's child friendly, was it?
Yeah, we did about
7. Yeah. 7 each, I think.
Oh, did you count them? I couldn't count. Stripe. We were.
Oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't count them. When I was already pissed.
Yeah.
Was it nice?
Yeah,
it was actually. It's better than Stella.
Oh yeah. You'd have been in the ring if you'd had Stella Jake.
The bleachers would have got tipped over.
I've got to say, apart from the main event match, which I was emotionally invested in as Jake saw. And obviously the Joe Henry one. The women's match, was it what was the Japanese last called? Is it Mia?
Oh yeah.
What's her name?
I think it was just Mia, yeah.
Is it Mia and Lizzie Evo caning and kicking the hell out of each other was absolutely class. Proper Japanese strong style, hoofing each other in the head and
It was
limbs and all that sort of stuff.
It was Japanese strong style versus Liverpool strong style.
Strong style. Yeah. It was really, really good. Really, really good.
There was some scary blokes on that show, like some guys where you're like, I'm gonna stay away from that guy. Who was that keg stacker guy as well? That was the first time I'd seen him. Stacker. He was just big meaty man.
I think he worked at Anarchy Brewery.
Yeah.
I think.
So he took the keg from there and just went with it.
So he's basically, become a keg stacker.
But yeah, honestly, I didn't really know many of those guys, apart from I'd known some of them, like some of the landed gentry I've seen before at different shows, and I've seen a couple of them do different gimmicks over the years, and so now they've changed character, but they did a really good job of putting on a show for anyone who had no idea, because the storytelling was there in the ring, because we only got a few video packages, but yeah, I was well impressed, and I kept up with everything. I do like seeing totally random wrestling where I have no stake in it, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna come and take it all in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, for me, obviously the last wrestling I went to was with you and Duffy, Jake. That was through Newcastle somewhere, wasn't
That's
it?
the main event wrestling one, yeah.
Yeah. But the one before that was in 2016. I told you about this yesterday on the phone.
Yes.
It was at the Newcastle Arena, 5-star wrestling. In is it Grado?
Yes, he was there. He was
there the other night as well.
He was there. He was fantastic. Just the entrance and just the mistakes.
It gets me every time when he gets his leg caught on the top rope and then someone has to help it off, and it's it's just perfect.
But then there was some great matches in that. These were quite unknown people to me, but then the main event was Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, and John Morrison.
Wow,
the flippiest match in the land.
I've been to many events gigs and stuff, saying, "Oh, that's the best thing I've seen in my life." But literally watching AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio and John Morrison just flip about everywhere, no mistakes or anything, was the best thing I think I've ever seen in person.
Bloody hell!
Yeah,
that's any AJ Styles is amazing. I really like AJ.
This was just before he joined WWE as well. It was a week before he appeared at the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
AJ Styles is a good wrestler, but he's a fucking idiot in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said.
And then he said his line that he became
he's also
famous for.
Yeah, he was also a bit of a flat earther for a little period.
Oh no. No.
Oh yeah. This is why.
I'm mine.
This is why you can't love any wrestler too much.
Yeah.
You can love the characters, though.
I was obsessed with Undertaker, and now he's got the thin blue line.
Yeah, with his GuN t-shirts.
Yeah. Get 9 line, or whatever it's called.
Okay. If no one's got any new business, we can move on to old business, which is that grey rectangle that used to live under our televisions. The PlayStation. Or the PS1. I never liked the PSX as an abbreviation as a kid, because I'm like, where's the one?
Yeah.
Where's the one, guys?
X is 10 as well. Where's the other 9?
But yeah, this is an interesting one for me, because I have played a lot of these games, but I didn't own a PlayStation until they brought out that little rounded one that had rounded edges, and that was called.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a PS1, like lowercase ONE. They're trying to get fancy in early 2000s with it.
Wasn't because PlayStation was never called PlayStation 1.
No, it was just PlayStation, wasn't it?
Because even when PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 was around, that was still PlayStation.
Pretty much, yeah.
But I think when that little PlayStation 1 thingy came out, that seemed to be where people started then referring to it as PlayStation 1.
Yeah, because I think
it's like Metallica's Black Album, isn't it? It's not actually called Black Album, it's called
Metallica. Yeah. Good point.
Just revisionist history.
Or like films. It's like, if there's a first one, it's just called what the name is, but then if there's a second one, it's called 2, isn't it? So it's sort of that thing, but I think people just put the 1 on and it just sticks, doesn't it? It's it just has traction throughout the whole gaming community, so it's always been the PlayStation 1, even though it hasn't.
But then, like, I think everyone seems to be like ashamed of the numbers. Like, I mean, Sony's kind of kept it up, but everyone else seems ashamed because like Xbox were like 360. Then our next one is going to be called One because it's the.
Oh, I don't. Xbox is. I'm not going to dog on Xbox because I've got the 360. I love the 360, but their numbering system is just triumphantly bizarre.
Don't you get it?
What they're trying to do.
360 was definitely my favorite console of all time. Like,
yeah, but don't you get it, Sloop? It was supposed to be like the center of your entertainment system. All of your different things would plug into it.
I get that, but then you call the next one the One. So what does that mean? Is that just another way of saying it's the center? It's the One. You just.
It's the last machine you'll ever need, definitely.
Until the series, whatever the fucking letter would choose out of the alphabet.
X/S.
Lee saying that Xbox is just weird for naming. Yes, it is. They're basically, you'll know this, Jake, they're the Ibanez of the gaming community, because Ibanez have all these weird, long, fancy names on the back of the guitars.
And it's just like, it's just the next model, the same one as last year with a different logo on it.
RGBP 170QB. It's like, yep.
They just put they're just putting the barcodes in at the end of the names and just okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So yeah, like how about you, Sloop? Because I think me and Adam have probably chatted PlayStation before, but like, how did you get your start with the Sony box?
Got one. I got one. Well, I didn't get one new because they were too expensive. I think I got them probably. I got one about a year after it was released. And I think when I got it, I got the one that had the demo disc, which we were talking about beforehand. Demo 1, which if I remember rightly, had Gran Turismo. It had a weird dinosaur thing that used to just walk towards you.
Yep.
It had one level of Hercules.
Yes, I love that game.
Didn't it?
It had what?
I thought it had a Tekken game.
I think it might have had Soul Blade on.
It had Soul Blade. It had Wipeout. I think a Wipeout, some Wipeout-y type thing. Had a level of Abe's Odyssey. And it had a weird cube game where this thing would roll towards you and you'd be a person. I could never remember the name. On a platform.
It was really
hard,
hard,
you had to avoid the cubes. I never understood that game. I used to frustrate the life out of us. Yeah. So I got one of those, and I think it wasn't my first console, but it was probably my third console. And I just loved it. It was just nice. I could just plug it in. I didn't have to fanny with the AUX and the thing like you used to have to do with your Mega Drive. Set it to channel 36 and plug your aerial in and fuck about with it at the back.
It was literally just got in the back. Boom, there you go.
There we go.
That was the future right there. CD quality audio. What did you guys think of Abe? Because
I loved it.
It's technically a platformer, but it's also kind of a puzzle game.
Yes.
And you know when you were like, oh yeah, it had the first level of Abe on, like, I think that took us so long to complete as kids that I just assumed that was the full game.
It's like 6 hours to complete that first level.
And then when you get outside, I'm like, what? And then the demo finishes.
It was quite long, and I get what you mean by it's a bit puzzly because you've got to encourage certain things to move, and you've got to take over the bodies of or the minds of other bad guys and all that sort of stuff. Walking at lasers and shit.
Everything was kind of horrible in that world, though, wasn't it? Because like this,
it was grotty, like.
Yeah, and like the story was that they were turning the people into food. That like the Abe guys, the Mudokons or whatever.
But did you not spend like 20 minutes though, just standing where you'd managed to get a guy with you, and you just face him and then go.
Yeah.
Hey, and then go, follow me. Okay. Stay here. Okay. Hey. Just do that for like 20 minutes. That's why the level took so fucking long. We're too busy farting each other.
I'd be sitting there creased with laughing, and my dad would come and he was like, what are you laughing at? I'm just getting, look at this man. And he's just like, that's class, that. I thought he was just going to be like, go away, man. But no.
Look at this horrible man with his stitched up mouth. Disgusting creature.
In regards to the PlayStation, for me, I know we've probably mentioned this before, but I think I luckily got one for Christmas the year it came out.
Yeah, that would be an excellent. I think that's
did it have a lot of sales on then.
Yeah, but then me and my brother shared it. Obviously, it would be too expensive to have like like 2, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then,
or
what
get
was it, like
him something else.
1996 or something, 97?
95 it came out,
95,
I think.
yes, 95.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like the best thing ever, because I think for me it was my third console as well at the time.
Yeah.
So like I had the NES, then the Mega Drive, and then this was just like the best thing that had ever happened. I was like, I want all the things on it. Like there was so many cool games, and
I should just think it was mad stuff was on a disc, because obviously before that was all cartridge, wasn't it? Like fat cartridges had to go clunk, and then when you clunk, and now you just put a disc in. It's like this light, fluffy sort of thing, and you press the lid. And It
had one problem though, because you could not save onto a CD like you could onto a cartridge, and our parents had to learn the lesson of like, you need to buy an extra thing to go with this console.
How many megabytes were the memory cards again? I think
I'm sure they were
16, I think.
They were like 24 or something. Like you couldn't fit anything.
And then you get like a 64 megabyte one, like a massive thing with graphics in the front.
But yeah, like
revolutionary, man.
Yeah, we definitely played a lot of Abe on that demo disc. Like this was a great time for trying games, because like my cousin had a PlayStation, but he would get the magazines that had the demo discs and everything. So a lot of these games, I'm probably going off like demo impressions, like for some of them. The one I can definitely remember people had the discs of, it's probably the most famous, but was Crash. Crash Bandicoot. I think when that came out, that seemed mandatory. If you had a PlayStation, you had to have Crash.
And I would say, like, I think the reason that was so massive is, but the games market now is so saturated with so many games coming out, so many consoles, so many options. But back then there wasn't as many options. So when this big game came out, it was usually one game a month. Or something like that, maybe 2 games a month. So it was like a proper event.
And you were kind of they were looking for like, who's gonna be the next Mario, who's gonna be the next Sonic. PlayStation had a few attempts at it. I think this is the most successful one. But yeah, like what I remember playing Crash and thinking it was a lot more limited than Mario 64. Because I went N64 when my cousin went PlayStation. Those were the paths we walked. I mean, to be fair, like Soul Edge looks a lot more impressive than anything on an N64. But yeah, like I remember thinking like, oh, Crash, it's kind of like you're stuck in a corridor most of the time. But I don't know.
But I will argue the Mario 64 camera was gash.
You're not supposed to touch it. That really used
to piss me off. I hated playing it. And
I thought you were going to react with "You're lying."
No. I understand the love for Mario and Mario 64, but like I always preferred that more linear.
You're right. It
doesn't. Didn't go fucking.
It doesn't make sense because it's the first game that you had camera control, but it plays a lot better if you touch it as like less as possible. Because it kind of like, if you just run through the level, it will follow you mostly. And it gets bad when you start trying to fiddle with it. But yeah, Crash didn't have that problem because it was just behind you all the time. But sometimes you would run into the camera, which was a first.
Yes. Which is frustrating sometimes as well.
It was, because you're just like, I guess I'm just going to have to rely on split-second reflexes to jump over this thing. They kept that up all the way into like the Uncharted games though, didn't they? The running away from like boulders and stuff like that.
Yeah. I quite enjoyed them, especially when you did it first time, because there was a massive sense of achievement, like it was some sort of fucking sidekick. It was like, I knew where the jumps were, I knew where I needed to go, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. If you did the riding on the polar bear level in one go.
And is it the first one you got to ride a hog?
Is the level called Hog Wild by any chance?
It could be.
It could be. I think I've got. Look, we've got props today.
Oh yes,
I've got the Crash Bandicoot menu. What's on the menu today, Crash? Ripperoo. But yeah, look at this cast of weirdos. We've got Dr. Neo Cortex. He's quite famous.
Dickhead.
Dr. Embryo, who was apparently a henchman, which I don't think he's ever come back. Papu Papu, which is a stereotype.
Scrap him.
Ripperoo, who I friggin' hated. That was one of the worst bosses. It's weird as well because there's a boss almost exactly like that in Donkey Kong Country 64, where it's like a crazy Jack in the Box, and you also have to jump on squares, but because that's like 3D, everything's just blown out and even worse. But I always hated Ripperoo. Koala Kong, not to be confused with Kong Dong.
No.
Pinstripe, who was like I guess a gangster guy.
Who was the boss who was in the tent and he would swing around and you had to jump on his head?
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe that's Pinstripe. Okay. And then we got this guy, Aku.
Yes. MVP.
Oh yeah.
Did anyone else used to just go to school and say that to their mates all the time?
Yeah, no. Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Probably a couple of times I didn't get many reactions though, so I stopped.
Crash had great sound effects, like when he goes wow when he dies.
Yeah.
Which you die.
When he burns, and it's that little stingy noise when he gets set on fire. He turns into ash.
It had really good he had really good like death animations, like a cartoon character where he would like turn into like a matchstick and be like or he'd like his soul would fly up to heaven, confirming
or his shoes would hang, wouldn't they? When he dropped or something, I think his shoes would stay in the air and then go down after him or something like that. That was always good. So
heaven exists and Crash Bandicoot will go there when he dies. Confirmed. But Sloop, I think you were saying recently that you tried like the new version of it out, like the remaster.
Yes, on PS5. Yes. Well, the PS4 release on PS5. Yeah. Yes.
So like, does it like still hold up? Like, is it? Yeah.
It's still really good fun. Yeah. And I know you made this revelation to me that it is harder.
Yeah.
Than the other version.
Yeah.
And it does feel harder. Especially the bridge level where you're going across all the bridge bits are falling apart. And there's another level where I got up there and it really just pissed us off, and I can't remember which one it was. But I got past them. But it does hold up. It's just a really simple throwback, and it's not too taxing. You don't have to worry about bots. You don't have to worry about like 360 no scoping. You don't have to worry about having an online connection. And it's just, here you are. Here you're a Bandicoot. Go and get your apples.
Oh yeah.
Do your little bonus things.
Yep.
Try and get all the boxes to 100% the level. You don't have to, but you can go and try to. And it's just it's just a nice simple like pleasure to play.
Yeah.
It does still hold up. I mean, if I was a kid now and I had, I probably wouldn't think much of it because it's not got that much, but it's still a compelling little thing.
I think the kids still do like Crash. I mean, he doesn't have as much like lore as any of the other mascots or like Sonic.
No, they're too busy building smiths in Roblox or building like little submarines in Minecraft these days to enjoy the simple beauty of Crash.
What does Crash even do? Like, is there anything in the cutscenes about like what he does when he's not?
No, he's just a Bandicoot who's having a bit of a time, I think.
Should I try and find it?
Go on then. Give us some Bandicoot lore.
Okay. Okay.
Where do you get his trousers from? That's what I want to know.
the Bandicoot jean shop.
Where'd you get your trousers from?
Jordan jeans.
No, he's from Australia. Welcome to the lands down under. Nice. Okay, Dr. Neocortex owns 3 islands on the southeast of Australia. There's a lot of lore here, actually.
Let's have it.
So he's been doing strange experiments with local marsupials and other critters. He's even had the nerve to mess with a bandicoot. Dr. Cortex up and altered the genes of Crash, and now we have a perfectly good hero waiting for an opportunity to shine. There you go.
So he's a genetic freak.
Yeah, he's a genome soldier.
Is it? So, but he's trying to defeat Mr. Cortex, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess it's like
freedom.
Yeah, I guess it's like a Dr. Robotnik situation where it's like you've enslaved, you've messed with like Ripperoo was normal. He had a family before you messed with his head.
Look what you've done to him.
He's in a straitjacket, for God's sake. Yeah, maybe it's like a revenge thing, but that's interesting. So
my dog.
Because I just assumed that the animals were alive, but it sounds like that's our world, and the animals have been morphed into hybrids. Human-animal hybrids.
Human-animal hybrids.
Okay,
that's actually quite a bleak bit of
lore.
Yeah,
I feel worse about Crash now.
Yeah.
But at least he's trying to better his situation. You know, he's got strength of character, and he's going to go and defeat the bad man and help others, I guess.
And blow up a lot of stuff with nitroglycerin boxes.
And eat all of the apples, which seem to become perfectly boxed on this very large island.
The wumpa fruit, I'll have to correct you on that one.
I do beg pardon. The non-apple based wumpa fruit, that in no way look like apples.
Well, Chris has said in the chat, he says Crash is an investment banker on the wumpa fruit market.
That's unsubstantiated. What about Croc, everyone? Everyone loves Croc.
Oh,
you remember Croc? He's back with the Gobbos.
Oh, stop it, give him away. Stop it.
It is called Croc Legend of the Gobbos.
Let's see, this Gobbo is coming.
Yep. I need to know.
I've got to admit, I didn't play Croc as much.
Yeah.
It wasn't one that I had, I don't think.
No,
I'll tell you what.
I
tell you what. One of the best things about Croc is the voice acting, because he's like oh hey kersplat, like when he's running around. So it must be like an English developer if he says hey, because that doesn't come.
Wee
Geordie Croc.
What you digging your mug?
Okay. Spin your jaw, mate.
Here's the introduction for Croc, Legend of the Gobbos.
You know what you need before you start reading the intros and the lore out? You need like a little noise or a little jingle, and then it goes lore time, just goes onto the screen or something.
You guys
we can do that eventually, I think.
Okay, who were the Gobbos? Examine ancient paintings from the time of their civilization, and you'll find that the Gobbos were short, furry people who could be politely described as gerbil-esque. But what of their soul, their character? One historian wrote that the Gobbos were among the most advanced civilizations of their day, making great strides in science and literature. What the hell is going on in this Croc game? I did not make any of that up.
So sorry, they are gerbil creatures making advances in science and literature? What?
Yep.
And someone destroyed their society.
Oh,
Baron Dante.
So what's
Baron Dante?
Is Croc their mate? Like, is he or like?
Yeah, because Croc's not a marsupial. What's Croc? Sorry, not a marsupial. Other thing.
Croc.
Gerbil.
I don't know. I think he's.
So what? How's Croc involved in the gerbil's plight?
I think he's just like their champion. You know, like the chosen champion of the Gobbos.
What a title.
Games used to have lore, man.
Confusing lore.
You know what happens when you load up the Croc game? You just get some nice, like, jazzy, like, with like a full band and everything. And like kind of that 90s sort of dreamy, like, synthesizer vibes. And because it's like early PlayStation, a lot of the levels aren't really like fully formed geometry. It's just like, here's a bridge in the middle of nowhere and there's lava on this side, and everything kind of looks like it's floating in like dream space. So
it's called art, Jake. Dear.
Yeah,
it's called experimental art. Dear.
It's got a cool vibe, but it had tank controls. Because that is something that it took the PlayStation a little while to figure out, because they didn't have analog sticks for a year or two.
Oh yes. Controversial opinion. I prefer D-pads.
Yeah, like if you could use it, you would.
D-pads.
Yeah. I mean, in Metal Gear Solid, it was better with the D-pad because it was literally like a top-down thing, so you were just walking on a grid, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so I think some of the games, like, that was kind of what held the platformers back a little bit. But you've got a little box and manual there, Sloop, which was touting the Dual Shock.
Which one? I think it was Spyro.
I was going to say, why don't you tell us about a little dragon called Spyro?
Right, this is hands down probably my favorite game on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many hours I put into this game.
Yeah.
I literally don't know. Like
it had a really good
shitloads.
It had a really good 100% tally and everything, didn't it? It made you want to collect everything.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a little advert for the Dual Shock on the back there. Look at that.
Was it Elijah Wood in that game, or did he come in later? He is the voice of Spyro, as far as I'm aware.
Will it give me any information about that in this
note?
Hold on. There is some lore in here for Spyro.
I think Spyro had cutscenes, though, didn't it?
Chris is saying everyone's got props in the chat. I don't have props, unfortunately, so I best just try and pretend I've got props.
Yeah, Adam already got his prop out earlier. It's fine. It was a plek. He's the plectrum.
My plectrums.
So yeah, would you like a little bit of Spyro lore?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it going to mention egg lads?
Sometimes.
An entire page on it, yeah. So
Croc had 6 pages.
In the beginning, for some reason, it's all in caps here. The 5 dragon families lived in their 5 dragon worlds in harmony. Nice. Their lives were happy and peaceful until the day a Nasty Nork, broke the rules. Nasty Nork was an unpleasant creature from the bottoms of his dirty boots to the top of his unwashed head.
Oh, he's got a dirty head.
Got a dirty head, and he's not going to have nits.
Pink lines and everything.
He wasn't pretty, and his personality combined the short temper of a gnome and the bad attitude of an orc. Nasty Nork resented the happy dragon families, and he detested their beautiful shiny jewels, which were not only nice to look at, but showed his reflections of his own ugly face every time he looked at them.
Oh, so you wanted to put them away forever.
Yeah, well, Nasty Nork became such a problem, he was banished to the dragon junkyard. And then he renamed it Nasty's World as soon as he got there and began to fool around with magic spells.
And then he closed Nasty's World down.
He found 2 spells, which was a giant spell to trap all dragons in crystal and a potion to animate those radiant gems and turn them into Nork soldiers.
Whoa, that's some very useful spells for his exact situation.
Yeah. And then he began turning all the dragon worlds into Nork worlds, but he didn't count on one little detail, which was Spyro the dragon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Go get him, Spyro, is what it says at the bottom.
No, you have to read that part as an oldie time, wartime radio guy. Go get him, Spyro.
Go get him, boy.
So, yeah, Nork is a combination of gnome and orc. That is interesting.
So is it Gunork or N-O-R?
It's Gunork.
Gunork.
Yeah. Spelled Gunork.
Has anyone ever done a gnome orc combo before? Were they the first and last? Because you think that would have come up in Dungeons and Dragons.
Unless Tolkien had some weird sort of story where
he loved Spyro. Tolkien.
yeah. That's where they got the inspiration from. They read Silmarillion and thought, yes, we're going to make a dragon game with Norks.
Smaug used to be called Spyro, but they thought against it.
Yeah.
Oh man, yes, and Chris is saying Norks are boobs, aren't they? I'm sure that was the joke in the development room.
Yeah. Possibly.
There was lots of cheeky sort of developers back then where they would hide little things in. Rare were always doing it. And the Ratchet and Clank people, all the games were called the booty and stuff like that. Or but yeah, I didn't get to play much Spyro as a kid, but everyone I know who played Spyro as a kid really, really loves it.
Fun.
Natalie, who sat behind me, really, really loves Spyro.
Yeah. No, the good thing about Spyro is that you had the levels and they felt open because you had different areas in the levels. Yeah. And your main aim is to get as many dragons and get as many jewels or whatever. Then you have the egg lads. If you wanted to go and just explore a little bit more and find hidden bits that you didn't even think you could get on top of, and you'd find an egg lad there.
Yeah.
You'd chase him around and try and headbutt that.
Oh yeah, because they'd be like,
and then do a little loop where you couldn't catch them because they're little twats. And just generally, like, it was, even though when you look back now, the worlds are not big.
Yeah.
But you had levels within those worlds, and then you had them little bonus flight levels and stuff where you sort of could do all that. And it was like enough stuff where it kept stuff interesting and you could replay it. But it wasn't just stuffed with things that felt like they had no point to it.
Oh,
And it was that perfect balance, for me anyway, of the content of the game and the replayability of it. And I can go back and just keep playing it over and over and over again and still not get bored.
Yeah.
Even though I know what I'm doing.
I've played a bit of the update, like the Reignited or whatever they call it.
They did really well with that, I thought.
Yeah, it's maybe a little bit too like story heavy, like up front, where you're like every time you like wake a dragon up, it's like, "Rah, Spyro, my dear boy."
I liked it because you had all the little different voices and the little different like body types and the and the and all that sort of thing.
I'm the dragon blacksmith and stuff like that. But you're right. The gems were like super like good looking. Like you wanted to collect those gems because they look, you know, like you wanted to eat them. Like that makes a good game if you want to eat the collectibles. But yeah, I definitely played the demo of Spyro, and I think they let you run around on the hub world and then maybe go in like 2 levels to try them out. But I remember thinking it was crazy. You could just run around and be like, "Whoa!" and I can like breathe fire at these like guys and burn the
and headbutt them.
Yeah, and you would like torch the butt cheeks, and they'd be like, "Oh!"
And there was some guys who would like run into tents. So you'd torch the tent, and then they'd go, "Whoa!" and then you'd torch them. And you'd go, yeah, got you twice. What? Got you twice, little bastard.
Does anyone?
Gems?
Yeah, Spyro with the shakedown. Does anyone remember like that medieval game where you were that weird skeleton man?
Vaguely.
No, that must have just been one that was going around our class at school. Like some kid lent me
What was it called?
It was called Medieval.
Medieval? Oh, no. I played the new version.
Oh, did you? You played like the remaster thing?
Yeah, because me other half's nephew had it.
It's kind of rubbish, to be honest.
It was Harry's. Yeah, I never played the original though.
Okay, well, I imagine it was fairly faithful because I don't remember anyone saying it was like a total remake with new stuff. It was kind of more of like a hit stuff game, but it was an interesting little experiment. It was kind of like a horror based sort of adventure, but it was like set in the real world. So you met a mummy, and then you would go and be like, "Oh, look, we're in Whitechapel." And I remember the story.
Yes, I remember it.
Yeah,
because I've looked at the cover.
Guy. Yeah,
like I mean you probably can't see that. Yeah,
a little bit. You were an undead guy because he dies at the start and then he gets resurrected, and you kind of like got upgrades, but you could do like weird things like you can like roll his head on the floor because he's like, you know, it just comes off and comes back to him. But I remember the story being fairly impactful because like his love interest, who was like, I don't know, a mummy woman, like she gets murdered by Jack the Ripper, who's like a demon, and it's like whoa, like this game has consequences. The bad guy killed one of the good characters. But yeah, like it was a weird one. I didn't particularly like it, but I can understand how, if that was like your game that you got bought for your birthday, I can understand why you would love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely one of those that I just lent. Like my friend was like, "I've just got to play Medieval. It's this and that and this and that." And then when you get it, you're like, "Oh, it's kind of." He was probably exaggerating on how good it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, like nice, like good voice acting and stuff, because it was when like the PlayStation really did shine on the story elements and stuff in games a lot better.
Well, they had to. I think they had to make this stuff. And I think as well, they probably had more development time.
Yeah.
And I think they probably were less obsessed with how many ray tracing and fancy lighting and all that sort of thing. Like back then, it was like tits were like 3 polygons, and it didn't matter. And sort of things were pointy. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, there were like as well. Like they didn't for PlayStation. They didn't have to worry about cartridge costs, so they could probably save a little money because they were doing CDs. Like I say, you could put full on songs and like the voice tracks in the games. Whereas, like, if you wanted to do that on N64, you had to like compress the files. So now, when you listen back, it just sounds like muffled, but you didn't really notice back then, or I didn't.
Were there any games? Were there any games that had to go on 2 discs on the PlayStation?
Metal Gear for sure. I don't think
as in the first one, not the first one, but
Metal Gear
first
Solid.
One on PlayStation.
But no, I think it was mostly RPGs and stuff where.
Right.
So like I think you can fit a fun mascot platformer on 1 disc normally. Did you end up playing like the Spyro sequels as well? Because I know like a lot of people like 2 and 3 as well.
So back in the day, I played 2. I'm sure I had 2, but I don't know if I've got it anymore. 3rd one, I think by that point I was not really fussed.
Yeah.
I played Crash 2 and the one after that.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. And I played Crash Team Racing, which is obviously a different
CTR.
But yeah, I didn't play all the Spyros, but since I bought the Reignited trilogy, because it's got the 3 of them on,
full of stuff to collect that package.
All the things to run around and headbutt.
Yeah.
Also, Adam, sorry, the egg lads don't have names; they're just called thieves.
Oh yeah, they were like,
were they
egg thieves though?
Yeah, they thieved the eggs because were they like little wrapped sort of mummy looking wrapped things, bluey colour, with little pink eggs, and they go ha 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 ha.
And Spyro's like, those are our children.
Egg lads.
Here's another one I've got. Here's another one I got the manual for. Ape Escape. This game's about ape lads.
I never had that, but I do remember playing it somewhere.
Yeah, the
Ape Escape.
Okay, look at this. This was back when they could do stuff like this. You can only play this game if you have the analog, like the dual stick controller.
Wow.
This was the cutoff. Ape Escape.
Hold on, that shit though, putting that on the inside.
Yeah.
They got it on the outside on the box anyway, because if you had bought that and then got home and opened the manual and went, look at this as well. They're even shilling memory card 15 blocks, it says, for this game. They're even shelling like a super blue memory card. Wow. In an egg?
No, or is
it a net?
It's a net. He catches the escaped apes in a net.
Apes in the net.
But it's like with one of the official coloured memory cards from Sony Computer Entertainment Europe, you can save your position as well as storing all your gadgets and over 200 monkeys.
Ooh.
Not bad for something small enough to fit in your pocket.
Wow.
Pork chimp wouldn't fit on that card.
No, he's 201 blocks, I believe.
Yep.
Damn it.
But these things, are they apes or are they monkeys? And why are they making that distinction?
Yeah.
But yeah, Ape Escape's fun though. It does say beware the monkeys in all caps, so I guess the
ape and monkeys, are they the same?
They're not really the same. It's usually denoted by if they have a tail or not, whether it's a monkey or an ape. But this does explain why it's very interchangeable, and a lot of children of our time grew up just calling anything a monkey. But yeah, the controls in Ape Escape are wild because it's like, so you move with the analog stick, but you jump with the R1 button, I think, because
I don't like that.
Because you swing the net with the right stick, so it's like you have like you can swing the net like forward, back, left, and right diagonal. So they were like, okay, well, if you move in these 2 sticks, then you're gonna have to put jump on something else, and it's very strange. I don't think anyone's done that afterwards.
No, because it sounds horrendous. Like I can't imagine jumping using a trigger.
Yeah.
Or a bump button. Like Square or X.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we didn't complain about it at the time because
No.
we didn't know any different. But now
And we didn't have internet forums either.
And now that we've got all the like knowledge we have and how long we've played games for, and we've grew with the times.
Yeah.
It's just crazy having a jump as a trigger.
If they released that now, it would be review bombed immediately. Even before it got released. The game as TM would go straight to Metacritic or whatever, or straight to the blogs and Steam and just go, no.
Yeah. And there'd be people being like, I only have one stick on my controller. 1 out of 10. But yeah, that is the thing. Like, we grew up where we like had to live through like all of the technology figuring itself out, and like now everything's just like pretty much fully formed. Like, video game controllers are like this, or you know, whatever Nintendo's doing, but it's generally accepted that this is what a video game controller has to look like. 4 shoulder buttons, 4 face buttons. But yeah, like back in the PlayStation, it kind of just felt like they were going to keep adding buttons forever, because you were like, okay, well, this has got, you know, it's got 2 triggers now. Like, you know, 4 face buttons, start select. Now you're going to add 2 more sticks, and you can click those sticks for an extra 2 buttons. But I guess that was it. That was maximum buttons that we could accept as a human species.
until you get those like turbo controllers with all the switches on.
Oh, they just were weird, man. Didn't get them at all.
Oh, you mean the friend controller when someone came around? You're like, oh yeah. My parents found this for a $5 somewhere. Here you go, you use it.
You can hear it like rattling when you like shake it. Just like
it's full of beads.
It's usually see-through.
Yes, I did. I literally did have a Super Nintendo controller that had all those switches in the middle and was see-through, so you could see the buttons being pushed down. Oh man, see-through tech needs to come back.
I think I had a see-through purple Game Boy Color, which I bought in Portugal.
Got it.
Nice.
Like,
got it right
so
here.
Long ago.
It's within arm's reach at all times.
I can't save games on mine now, though.
Oh, that's cartridge. That's cartridge based.
Is it?
The batteries are in the cartridges.
God damn it! Well, me Pokemon cartridges died then.
Yeah,
I can't save it.
But my photographs were still saved on here on this Game Boy camera.
Oh, did you take a picture of it?
I took a picture of the stream.
Yeah, look, actually, look class. It was really good.
It's been added to the photos from like 25 years before. The old tech is crazy because it's like the Game Boy cartridge just thinks it's the next day. It's just woken up from a giant slumber. But I don't know if memory cards are holding up. I haven't ever heard anyone say like, "Oh, my memory card has died," but I don't know if anyone really cares that much about their old memory, because I think what everyone does now is you buy like a new retro box and it just has everything on an SD card.
Yeah. And I still have got a PlayStation memory card somewhere.
Yes, actually, you said you played Spyro maybe last year, weren't you? Like on a
and I think it's in my bedroom, and I think it looks. It's got that, you know, it's slightly old and it's yellowed.
Yes.
So where it's been in the PlayStation, it's still grey, but this like the end of it is this tinge. Unfortunately, to it now. I'm sure it's in my bedroom in a basket somewhere.
Apparently, you can get that yellowing off old tech, because I think it's some kind of like reaction, like a chemical reaction. But
the sweat.
Maybe or sunlight. But you've got to put this stuff all over it, you know, like actually take the shell off and then put this like goo all over it and then leave it in the sun or like UV lights.
I'm not gooing up an UV light in my PlayStation that I've had for 20 years in the box. 30 years nearly. Jesus.
Just take the shell off and like boil it or something. I'm sure that'll take everything.
I'm okay with. I'm not going to boil my console, Jake. Thanks. I'm going to just leave it a yellow in the box.
Not the innards.
I'm not going to boil any part of the console.
See, your PlayStation console's a lot like a crab shell.
I can tell
delicious
you.
meat in the middle, but it's outside like crunchy.
I can tell you what'll be on that memory card, though. There'll definitely be a Spyro save.
Yeah.
There will definitely be a Colin McRae rally save.
Yeah.
There will definitely be a Need for Speed Hot Crest. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. There will definitely be one of those ones on.
That one was good.
And there'll probably be that Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I used to just play through it all and then rag around on that. Is it El Nino, the car that you get at the very end, and just like blaze it around and crash it all the time. It's great. Yeah. And I'll probably have a Rayman save on there as well somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I reckon
we haven't hit Rayman yet. That was the one that was the one that almost like completely passed me by. But the PlayStation kids, they love the Rayman.
Love Rayman. It's because you had no legs.
He's such a freak.
That's why I didn't like him.
When he used to punch,
too many legs.
His hand would go wow. It looked really cool. It was class.
Yeah. So you could like shoot it out, and then
you could punch it. You could like you wind him up, and then he punches, and his arm goes like pew, like across the screen, and he couldn't kick. Obviously, he's not a kick guy. He's a puncher.
Didn't he have like helicopter hair or something?
Yes.
Or is it ears?
He had cheese strings for hair.
It was his hair because his little cheese.
I never liked him.
Look at can you just hold that closer to the camera? Look how weird. Oh, it's blurred.
Oh, hold on.
Oh no, you have. Okay, we'll go back. Look how weird front-facing Rayman is. I swear they've never drawn him like that.
He's not weird. He's not weird. You leave him alone. He's cute. He's a cute patootie.
Hard disagree.
Rayman.
He has got unblinking eyes though.
What's the story of Rayman? Can you remember?
The story of Rayman. I've got the booklet, so I've got some lore in here. Let's have a look.
There may be Ray men in the house.
Look at him there, thinking, musing.
Okay, that's better.
Rayman the philosopher there. So this one you didn't need a direct analog.
Evidence.
The old one.
Evidence that it didn't used to have sticks.
Yeah. So there you go. Oh God, there's a. Okay. Right. God, this is written like a.
Hey, dudes.
It is. It does. It says, "Hi, folks. You want to know what's going on?" That's what it actually starts.
I could tell.
In Rayman's world, nature and people live together in peace. Isn't that nice?
Oh.
The great Protoon provides and maintains the harmony and balance in the world, because it's kind of musical based, some of the levels in this.
Right, okay.
One fateful day, the evil Mr. Dark, who basically looked like the Shadow but with massive eyes, steals the great Protoon and defeats Batilla the fairy as she tries to protect it. The Electoons, who used to gravitate around it, the fairy, I think, lose their natural stability and scatter all over the world. And now there is an unbalanced world with strange phenomena, including freaks and hostile characters.
Is that what happened to real life?
Maybe he's capturing every Electoon they can find. Rayman is to the rescue. As the guardian of this world, he must free the Electoons, recapture the great Protoon from its mysterious kidnapper, and reassemble them all to restore the world's harmony. So that's the lore from Rayman.
That's quite nice. About why he looks like he got cheese strings for him.
Hold on, he looks all right here though.
The chosen champion of the world doesn't need.
I don't like him.
Leave him alone, man. You're horrible.
He's so. Okay, yeah, the way
games made, man.
the way you're saying like Protoon and Electroons, it just it reminds me of that weird SNL sketch with like Phil Hartman, where it's like a secret society of people who love Mr. Belvedere, and they call him Brocktoon for some reason.
Yeah.
It's just reminding me of that.
Oh wow! There's also you could save this game without a memory card.
Whoa, it
says if you don't have a Sony memory card, each time you finish a stage, you get a password. To get the password, you move Rayman to any of the save spots on the map, which are marked with a magician's top hat, and press X. Then the password appears on screen, and you just need to write it down.
Whoa.
And the password will save the number of lives you continue, your permanent powers, the stages that are open to you as well.
Whoa, that'll save Christmas. That, when your kid's like, I've got a memory card, and you're like, Holy crap, son! I've just checked the manual. Go over to the wizard's hat and press X.
Well, there you go. So yeah, if there's anybody out there who has a PlayStation but doesn't have a memory card and still wants to play a game, you can still play Rayman if you don't have a memory card.
And if anyone's,
I actually didn't know that.
And if anyone's got the Croc disc but no manual and wants me to read the story to them, just give me a call.
We can do cameos and stuff, like just reading that.
I've just noticed this has got an advert for Croc 2 on, which also sounds like Brock 2.
Right, I'm sorry, right? How do you say Rayman is terrifying? No, the fucking state of Croc.
Oh, look out,
one
guys.
Snaggletooth by looks
Nah,
of it.
it's his eyes, man. The eyes of death.
This is my friend Gobbo.
He just told him he's just gonna eat that poor thing.
Yeah, that's what he does off screen between the levels.
Yeah, get his sustenance, get that protein down you.
I don't know what you collected in Croc. I think it was jewels and keys. Souls. It might be in here. But like, yeah, like Rayman had all those little guys you would collect in the new games, didn't he? Like little fairy dudes. Gobbos, white crystals. Oh yeah, it was like crystal maze crystals floating everywhere in Croc. So you just got the white crystals.
That's meth, sir.
Croc only collects the white crystals. He has a problem, and we're working on it. We're gonna send Mr. Dark in from Rayman World to do a speech.
He did. He had a big hat and a cape, and he used to have he still with binoculars, but you'd see his big eyes.
Right, there was a lot of big cartoon eyes in the PlayStation days.
So what you're saying is he's a midnight creeper. Is that what you're saying?
He's a shadow. Well, Shadow wasn't a creeper. He's meant to be a hero, but he's a bit of a creeper.
I meant a bit of a pervert, like with the binoculars.
He's spying people to steal. So yeah, he probably is a bit of a creeper. Actually,
he's trying to steal people's knickers and that.
I'm
not sure that's explicit in the law that he was stealing knickers. He's definitely stealing other things.
If it's not in the manual.
So I try and find knickers in the manual. I'll give a quick
look. I'm just making you one law up as well.
No, you never know. You could be right in some way here.
I'm trying to look up.
I'm
trying to look up Gex. Who remembers Gex?
Yes.
The gecko.
I remember Gex.
Oh man, I'm trying to look at who he was voiced by, because I'm sure it was someone like Dana Gould or something like that.
The man's a ghoul.
Just tell me who Gex's voice is. Like, surely that's the most important thing. Yeah, Dana Gould.
Is it?
Yeah.
Damn.
So like he was like a lot more. I mean, enter the gecko, and he's also dressed like James Bond on the front of the thing. He was like a movie parody man, so like you would go into different TV shows, and it would be like, oh look, you're in like secret agent land, so we're gonna do loads of 007 jokes and stuff, and be like, look, it's Gex. But he was kind of like a bit more of an adult one, because I think PlayStation, it's like Nintendo was marketing directly to you as a child.
Yeah.
PlayStation was trying to get your older brother or your dad to buy video games, so they'd put like Crash and Gex like with a sexy lady in a magazine ad and be like, this ain't your grandma's Italian plumber, man.
This is a sexy Gex lizard, because that's entirely normal.
Yeah, there was like an advert where he was like covering up some lady's like bare breasts, and it was just like, this is insane. Why is that lady dating Gex?
Well, if he's
have a good pipe on him, like
good pipe, and if he is a gecko, he'll already be moist, so there's less foreplay work.
Good tongue on him.
He did used to eat things like to get your health back, I think. So yeah, that's documented. He had that TV money as well. You know, he's always starring in different shows, doing cameos.
The moolah.
Oh, maybe I need to play Gex on the stream sometime, because like
to show the bare breasts bit. Don't share that bit.
No, that was just in children's magazines. You probably leafed past that on the way to the demos one day and just didn't pay it any mind. But yeah, I've done that before, where I've kind of like investigated like PlayStation games that I missed out on. Like that's like I first played Ape Escape on stream, but I did like that. I continued to play it off stream. one of the one you mentioned before was that Hercules game. So was that on?
Yes,
that was on the demo disc, was it?
Yeah, it's on demo 1. There was one level of it. I just remember playing it because I remember so vividly the end of that demo level. Was it was a bull at the top of some stairs, and he was throwing like bits of stone at you.
Yeah,
and you had to avoid them, and he had to throw stuff back. And that was the one level on that. I used to just hammer the shit out of it over and over and over again because I couldn't afford to buy any new games. So I just thought, I'll just play them on the demo and pretend I've got the game.
Because that was the thing. Because like sometimes when I try and like think back, I'm like, why did we even have that game? Because like we did like Hercules, but I'm like, why would we have like bought Disney's Hercules like sight unseen? But I guess we'd played the demo, and it was probably the parents were like, well, I've seen you playing this, so you won't tell me to take this back if I buy the full game.
And if you like the film, they'll probably assume that you wanted to
but like
play the game.
The great thing about that was it had loads of Danny DeVito voice lines in it. You'd be like running around and be like, rule number 96, aim, use your head, and all that stuff.
Shit.
Oh yeah, God, Hercules, gotta find me the rum ham.
I'm sorry, rum ham.
Yeah, but I quite like that game. It had a lot of like particle effects, like you would smash through the floor and it would all like fly everywhere, and like you would like chop the bad guys and they would explode into loads of parts, and I'm like, oh, they're using every part of the PlayStation disc on this thing.
Yeah.
It was a bad platformer though, like the actual.
Yeah, it was like full to the edge. You know how like a CD has a ring on it. Like the Hercules one was like there was no distinction between where it started or ended.
Yeah, I mean it was rudimentary.
It wasn't that fun to play, but it looked it looked and sounded amazing because it had all like the instrumental versions of like the movie songs and stuff like in the levels. But yeah. But then there was those.
It looked gorgeous. It was a beautiful game, though. Yeah. Like in terms of the graphics, you could tell that it looked very ahead of a lot of stuff that was already out. But then it looked out of date in about a month after it was released.
Because I think when I played it on stream, I was like, oh no, it's just started playing clips of the movie. Like,
I'm gonna get struck again, see if I copyright.
I don't think we did, but like. When you think about it, if you were a kid and turned that on and been like, holy crap, the movie's playing out of this like, CD-ROM disc.
Magic.
That's the kind of thing that wins.
Time after that, it was going to be the normal thing to have DVDs.
Oh, yeah. But that was the kind of thing that would have impressed parents back in the day, like full motion video.
Yeah, remember enhanced CDs when you used to have the fucking music videos on them?
As we mentioned before, I had a Philips CDI, man. Best of the best cutscenes, man.
The Wand of Gamelon.
Well, it was at my grand's. It was never allowed to come home.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right though.
Go there after school and sit and play that.
Yeah, where you could put your CD into your PC and it would have like a secret video file saved on it.
I remember having the Bloodhound Gang one, the Bad Touch. I'm sure I've still got that CD single at my parents, and I had Eiffel 65.
Do you think if we put that Bloodhound Gang CD in a computer now, would it still play the video?
I'd love to. I don't have a disc drive. I'd love to do it. I don't have a disc drive.
Does anyone have a disc drive? I do have a disc drive.
I will swear to God, I will try and find it if I've still got it somewhere, and I'll try and get it over again. If I've still got Eiffel 65, I'll try and find it as well.
Was the Bloodhound Gang video appropriate for you as a child to be watching, or was it a weird thing?
Well, when was it? 99?
Yeah.
So I was 11. I mean, I'd seen it on Kerrang.
Okay, so it was just the music video for.
It was just the music video. It wasn't like the Chasey Lane video or nothing like that.
The uncensored one. Yeah.
Yeah, the uncensored version. Yeah, it was just because the Bad Touch video wasn't that crude compared to the Chasey Lane one. I don't think.
Oh no, the Chasey Lane one was the one where it had all of the topless models wandering around distracting the band.
Chebs. But I'll try and find it, Jake. I will.
We'll do a showing.
Yeah.
I'll show my desktop and all my file structure. Not really.
Oh god.
No, don't do it.
Not the secret text.
Not my gifs. My cool gifs. Is there much left? This is one thing I wanted to ask. Does Tomb Raider count as a platformer, or would you say that's like a shooter sort of puzzle game or something? Is it everything? Is it all genres combined into one?
It's a bit of an odd one because there is definitely platformer elements to it. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Because you could argue, Prince of Persia.
Oh, definitely.
Which I know is not PlayStation, but it's PlayStation 2. Especially the early ones, the first two, Warrior Within and the...
Oh my god, Warrior Within, the one where it had
one of my favourite ones.
I
fucking love Warrior Within.
Godsmack on the soundtrack and stuff like that.
Yes!
I stand alone.
But that had like platform elements and like parkour-y stuff. So if that's... For me, that would definitely... Like Doom, I'd say Doom is in, especially the new ones, a lot of platform and bits and bobs to that, not just shooting around and caning people. You've got to go from platform to platform. So I'd say Tomb Raider is not a solely platform game.
Yeah.
But I would say it's a hybrid. I think it would count as one.
Well, because like Lee's been playing it on our stream recently, and the first thing that happened is he was on that obstacle course, and that is definitely platforming.
Yes.
I always hated the Tomb Raider games, and I think it was just because I was really bad at controlling them, and I never quite understood it. But I don't know.
But the controls are janky.
Yeah.
When you go back to them now.
But like, was that one you put a lot of time into as a kid? Because I know my cousins had like 1, 2, and 3. But I think it was so hard we could just never get anywhere in them.
Yeah, I've got the first one, and I definitely played the first one, but I did find it really hard because bearing in mind it was when did that come out? 90? Was it 96 for Tomb Raider?
Maybe like 7 or 8 sort of time. Yeah.
97 or 98. I'll tell you what, I'll have to have a look now. Tomb Raider.
I feel like Tomb Raider was like the game that sort of your dad's mate would be playing for months, and
he'd be masturbating over it whilst playing it.
Oh, look at the fucking pixels on that.
But then he'd be like, I'm up to the last level, there's a demon and like alien eggs everywhere, and it's just like, what?
This is not what we paid for.
You've been playing this for an entire year.
Right, 1996 was the first one.
Whoa.
So I probably would have got it early 97. So I would have been under 10.
Yeah.
And I think at the time it was quite a hard game for under 10.
Yeah.
Old. That's probably why I didn't play it as much.
It had a lot of instant death traps where I was like, well, if you didn't know that there's a hole in the floor right here, you're just dead and you've got to reload your save.
It was great though. It was a bit for me. It was a bit like that generation for me, my Bloodborne, where it took me a long time to finish it, and I kept having to like just not play it for a while and then go back to it. As an older, more seasoned gamer.
Honestly, man, like there was legit people that would just spend like an entire year like slowly working the way through a game back then. Like. Yeah. I think when I was a kid, I used to move on quite quickly and just be like, oh, if I can't beat these first levels, I'll go and play something else.
Yeah.
But I definitely heard stories of people who'd be like, oh yeah, like me and my mom sat and finished like Zelda Majora's Mask and was still playing it like, like months later and stuff like that. It's interesting, but I don't know if I ever had that experience where you're like sitting with your save file like every night, like, okay, I'm going to get like a little bit farther. I think I would just give up.
Yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong, I've definitely give up on games.
Yeah.
But when I feel like it's a challenge that I can... If I feel the game is fair and it's a challenge that I can get and achieve with perseverance and... I can learn a move, I can learn, how I can actually control this properly. Then I will keep trying. Probably to my own mental detriment, but I will keep trying and I'll keep fucking trying. But with Tomb Raider, I think, it was definitely one of the ones where I'd had to go back a few times to finish it.
Yeah.
I did find it quite difficult.
It's just a lot. And like, you're juggling ammo, items, puzzles.
Yes.
wild animal
and
attacks.
the jump sideways, where you have to sort of center yourself and then do that. And if you are even 5 degrees off, you die, and then you have to go back, and then there's a fucking tiger, and it's just hellish.
Also,
hellish game.
Like there's a sort of people who think like Tomb Raider is like an adult game, and it's like, or like a serious realistic game. But like when you think about it, she jumps like 6 times higher than a human can. So it's like, it's not realistic. And there's a dinosaur in like the 3rd stage or something. It's like, dude, this is a video game.
Yeah.
But I think
the tiger, there's nonsense in it.
Because I remember once my uni lecturer, when we told him we were going to Video Games Live, you know, like the orchestra thing with the like that plays the video games thing.
You went to?
Yeah. And he was like, oh yeah, it'll not be stuff like Mario, though. It'll be stuff like Tomb Raider, surely. It's like, no, mate, there's no Tomb Raider music at that thing. It's very nice orchestral music, but no, it's all Mario that people remember fondly. But yeah, I think that's I'm all PlayStationed out, unless anyone wants
There's
to
one
shout out
platformer.
anyone. Yeah,
There's one platformer that I remember playing, and I didn't finish it because it was too hard. Heart of Darkness.
Oh,
Heart of Darkness. What was that?
Heart of Darkness.
I might have to Google that one.
Shit hard, and I never ever completed it. It was really, really difficult. It was basically like this kid who. I think you've got to rescue your dog or something.
Yep.
And because he's being captured by ghosts or something, but they come out the shadows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then just just rip you to bits or eat you or whatever the hell. And honestly, it's so hard. It's great though, and it looked cool, but it was really difficult.
Yeah, because it looks like sort of old, like cartoon animation, but it's also a bit 3D.
Yeah. That sounds like it to me. It was beautiful. But it was
cool and all, but it's no A Boy and His Blob.
Similar idea. Oh yeah. Oh, it had the Indiana Jones theme song as the Boy in the Blob theme song. But yeah, no, this looks sick. This kind of looks like Limbo, because like the kid's getting like ripped apart by shadow creatures and stuff.
Yeah. That's not a bad show. That's probably a good modern comparison. Yeah. It's really, really beautiful and really, really good, and I did try and go back to it, but again, that was one where I just couldn't do it. But it is. I'd like to see someone actually play it again. I don't think I've ever seen anybody play it for years.
I'm sure if you look up a really long play, I'm sure you could watch one of those.
Yeah, I could probably do. And the other one that I've just remembered that I used to love, because I've got a T-shirt with them on, Earthworm Jim 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was surprisingly difficult back in the day as well.
Linking back to Video Games Live, it was Tommy Tallarico who was running that whole show. He was the Earthworm Jim music guy. And he's the one from that H Bomber Guy video with the Roblox oof.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's him. He's the Earthworm Jim guy, the one who's like, oof. I invented the Roblox oof sound. And everyone's like, no, you didn't. Oh man!
But Earthworm Jim was quite difficult.
That was like a living cartoon, though.
Oh yeah. It was great though, Earthworm Jim. I played the first one on Mega Drive.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think I rented that from Blockbuster.
There was that crazy level where you'd bounce the puppies into the thing, and if you didn't get them in, your friend tried to eat you, the puppy guy, and there was all those like terrible like levels where you were just falling down like a giant hole and you had to like avoid things, and like you were getting eaten by a giant creature.
Oh man, I miss weird animated shit like that.
and I had that cartoon where Dan Castellaneta was Earthworm Jim.
Loved Earthworm Jim.
Yep,
loved him.
But like I say, the creators are kind of crazy. Don't look them up.
Yeah.
Don't do
it. No, I won't.
Allegedly.
I'll just choose to have the memories of what I had.
You can. It's kind of like what we were saying with wrestlers. Like if you just think about the character as the real part, like Rayman is the real guy. Marcus and Dom are the real heroes. You don't have to listen to Cliff Blazinski.
Yep.
But yeah, God. I don't think there's much else. I mean, I know a bunch more games, but I did not play them. Like, what was that? Jump and Flash. That was the first PS1 3D platformer. Ain't no Mario 64 though.
No.
I want to like Mario 64, but I hated the camera and it pissed me off.
You don't like it, you can get out.
I loved the Super Mario's on the Game Boy though. Yeah. I loved the 2D ones, but when it started going fucking wee and spinning cameras, I'm like, fuck off. I just want to go from left to right, please. I just want to go from left to right. That's all I want to do. Please let me live, Mario. Stop swinging the camera 140 degrees when I'm trying to go up this curved platform or whatever the fuck you're doing.
Must have been taking all the tablets as Dr. Mario, and then he's just done.
I love Dr. Mario. I used to hammer that on the Game Boy as well.
Man. Those were mega vitamins. It wasn't
giant pills like the size of my microphone.
That's how you kill viruses, with vitamins.
Yes, with all of the vitamins.
But yeah, that was a fun. I like to say a little trip down PlayStation memory card lane.
Yes, oh, very nice. I see what you did there.
Puns and that.
Everyone, go home and touch your manuals and read about Rayman. And like I say, if you want to know the croc lore, just hit me up.
And I will, as I said, Jake, I'll try and find me Bloodhound Gang CD for you.
Yeah,
because I think that might actually be quite good fun.
If it still works on Windows 10, it would be a miracle.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
It's probably in some weird file format, doesn't it? I bet your VLC player will play it.
Oh, if VLC player plays anything, man.
Trust it.
I could play something off a slice of bread, that.
Crap. That's our next disk drive. Send me all your CD-ROMs. And I'll send me your encoded
95 files.
Yeah, I'll put that in and see what it does to my computer. Send me an encoder and I'll load it up.
Play the embedded ABBA tune that was on there.
Wow.
A tiny postage stamp video of a leopard.
Yeah.
That was the height of technology. But yeah, man, CD-ROMs. That was the Wild West of computers back then. Crocodiles, apes, bandicoots. Oh, but yeah.
Bring them back.
Anything anyone wants to say about the PlayStation? We all done?
Good shit.
Yeah, I
Excellent.
wish times were simple still, and that was acceptable to just like have a new one.
You could have tricked your children into thinking the PlayStation was the only games console.
Oh yeah, you had look at the graphics, man.
You had that option, and then like Ruben would be like, "Where's the Croc merchandise in the Asda?" And he'd be like, "Shh, stop talking about the Gobbos."
Oh man, you're embarrassing us again.
If there's ever any Croc merchandise, let me know, and I'll snatch that bad boy. Right. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see us all on the next one. We'll be back on the streams. There'll be more podcasts on the channel.
Well, you're streaming tomorrow night, Sloop, aren't you?
I am tomorrow at 6:30. I'm in a sort of boss bit in Blasphemous and just kicking me arse.
Yeah.
I did beat 2 bosses the last time and 3 bosses the time before that. So this is like some wifey with a big pointy head like me. She's just a bit of a dick. And I've got a parry, and I'm not very good at parrying. Jake knows this very well.
Yeah.
I struggle with parrying in games. I just tend to cane things and avoid.
Yeah, learning to parry on stream as well isn't fun.
No, on keyboard with sweaty fat fingers. So make of that what you will.
Yeah. But me and Adam will be back next week with some fun stuff, and keep your
Hopefully
eyes.
you'll have the Bloodhound Gang CD. I'll post it. Have that as your opener.
Can I sew together a monkey headpiece to a cowl? That's probably what it was called.
No, it's not real monkey. It's not real monkey.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.